Hello everyone, hello. This year is dedicated to Ili Nishmas, Rachalea Bas Reb Chaim Tzvi. We're learning the Sefer Avas Chesed, and we're learning Chelek Aleph of the Sefer, where the Chofetz Chaim discusses the halachos of Chesed, the halachos of lending money, the halachos of giving tzedakah. This is the halacha section of the Sefer. Last class we ended in the middle of the fourth parak, where the Chofetz Chaim and we discussed the beginning of the fourth parak about doing chesed for someone, even if someone is your enemy, and we discussed that at great length at the end of the previous class. And now, on the end of the fourth parak, the Chofetz Chaim discusses lo sikom and lo sitor in the context of giving a loan and doing chesed for someone. Those of you that remember from their classes in the Sefer Chofetz Chaim, the Chofetz Chaim discussed these lavim at length back in regarding the laws of Lashon Hara, and here he applies them as well within the discussion of lending money to others. So let's see, Parak Revi, Halacha Daled. So it says that there's lo sikom and lo sitor. Lo sikom, don't take revenge. Lo sitor, don't hold a grudge. So the Chofetz Chaim quotes the famous Gemara, Ezohi Nekima, Amarlo, Hashileni Magolcha, Amarlo Lav. Lamacha Amarlo, Hashileni Kardumcha, Amarlo Eni Mashilcha, Kederach Shlohi Shaltani. Zuhi Nekima. What's taking revenge? If you ask someone to borrow their axe one day, and they say no, and the next day they ask you to borrow something else, and you say no because you didn't lend to me, I won't lend to you, that's revenge. Because you treated me poorly, I will also treat you poorly. That's ordinary revenge. That's nekama. Ezohi netira. What's netira? What's holding a grudge? Amarlo, hashileni malgocha. Amarlo lav. Lamacha amarlo, hashileni kardumcha. Amarlo helach. Eni kamoscha. Shlohi shaltani zehu netira. Zuhi netira. Your friend says, "Let me borrow your axe," and he says no. And then you ask your friend to borrow the axe. He says no. The next day he says, "Let me borrow something of yours," and you say, "Okay, I'll let you borrow it. I'm not like you. Yesterday you didn't lend it to me." So that's holding a grudge. That's netira. Oh, so what's the point? What's the point of the Gemara? The Chofetz Chaim explains. The Kavanas HaGemara, De'afilu al dvarim nikalim ka'ela shayach gam kein isur nekimu u'netira v'kol shekein b'dvarim gedolim k'gon shulim noam eliheti b'mo be'ez adavar shenogeh l'mechyaso. The point of the Gemara is to borrow an axe from someone. You want to chop up some wood is not the biggest deal. So you'll wait a little while to chop the wood. You'll borrow from somebody else. This is a small thing. Devarim nekalim, and even there's nekama and netira. So certainly, by something which is a big deal, to take nekama or hold a grudge regarding something which might affect somebody's parnasa, it might affect somebody's livelihood. There is certainly the isser, the lav of nekama and netira apply. The Chofetz Chaim then goes on to quote from the Sefer Yereim. The Sefer Yereim points out that although the case in the Gemara of nekama and netira is referring to borrowing an item, borrowing an axe, borrowing a sickle, but it applies to money things as well. V'chein katzar Rabbeinu Eliezer b'mitzvah Sefer Yereim b'mitzvah Kuf Tzadi Zayin Delav dafka she'elas kelim. Delav kelim sivikra. The Torah doesn't mention dafka kelim. The Torah doesn't say that the laws of revenge and holding a grudge only apply by kelim. No. Elafilu shar mama delav kelim minhu. It also applies by money matters. Therefore, lamadnu shemuzharin Yisrael shalolim noah laso staka ugmilus chasadim b'mamon bishvil shaloasa hu imo kabayaso. Shazui Nekima, etc. Vajui Netira ad kan lashona. So what do we see? That Nekama and Netira apply by money matters as well. So why is the Chofetz Chaim quoting this here? Because he just discussed that what if you have someone who's your friend and someone who's your enemy? So if there's someone out there that for some reason you don't like, probably because in the past maybe you think they mistreated you. Reuven thinks that Shimon mistreated him. So right now Reuven doesn't like Shimon so much. So now if Shimon asks for a loan, Reuven has to be very careful about nekama and netira. Reuven has to treat Shimon like he treats any other Jew. As we discussed, the laws of when you have to give a loan, when you should give a loan, when you can. But if just because Reuven for some reason is a little against Shimon for some reason, Shimon may have mistreated him, Reuven has to be careful. Don't mistreat Shimon. Don't not give him the loan because of how he treated you in the past. So that's why this is brought down here, that Nekama and Netira apply regarding giving someone a loan as well. Then the Chofetz Chaim continues as follows: V'da'od Timuchach mikol rishonim di'isur hanekima hu afilu im lo heshiv lo eini mashilcha elo mishayada ben nafsho shemitam zeh hu moneh melehitiv imo over belav zeh. First of all, the Chofetz Chaim points out that the Gemara's case is very dramatic. Reuven says to Shimon, "Can I borrow your axe?" And Shimon says no. The next day Shimon asks Reuven for something, and Reuven says, "No, I'm not going to give it to you."